today, Mr. Kurt Bench. David, fellow ambassadors and guests, body language. It's something that I've studied for about 20 years. And what I found interesting about what David said is that if you understand body language and how your body language affects other people, you're going to double your understanding of other people. Depending on what study you listen to, I've heard that they will tell you that maybe 20% of what you say is what people remember. They remember more about your nonverbal communication. How many people in here are in sales? If you're not in sales, you probably have to persuade somebody of something. So in essence, everyone is in sales. If you can remember one thing from this talk, is my definition of sales. My definition of sales is the transfer of emotion from one person to another. I want you to say that after me. Sales is the transfer of emotion from one person to another. If you can somehow transfer the excitement that you feel for your product or service to someone else, that's something they're going to buy from you or ask for your advice, buy your services. That's probably the most important thing for you to remember. Think about body language and how you walk into a financial institution. Imagine you walk into a bank or a credit union.
Yes.
Or financial.
Good job. And everybody is in flip-flops, t-shirts, and shorts.
Cool, sign me up.
Are you going to A, say cool, or B, take all your money out immediately? There's something about body language and what we wear that's important. Jessica Delgado is the market manager for Broadway Bank. Will you tell us a little bit about the dress policy at Broadway Bank?
So as I speak, I'm thinking he's going to watch my body language. So in general, depending on if you're in front of the customer or behind, on the phone, they're really going to vary. So I'm going to speak for the people that are in the front line talking to customers. For the men, or slacks, dress, collar, shirt, and tie. The suit's optional if you're a calling officer out there calling on customers. For the ladies, slacks, skirt, dress, everything has to be pressed, collar, shirt, and of course the jacket's optional. Skirt has to be an acceptable length, short slightly above the knee, and we want to be careful with how our blouse sits on top. Where the shoe's concerned, we're not allowed to wear any flip-flops, tennis shoes, anything that resembles a sandal.
Wow.
Do women have to?
No.
And there are some days that they require for the women.
That is interesting. I asked Jessica to comment on the dress code. I did not realize it was that specific. But obviously, when you go into a financial institution, they have your money. So there's a level of seriousness that they're going to exude to you. So it's important, not that you wear a suit and tie all the time, because different clients that you go and see, they have a different dress. But when we go to a ribbon cutting at a financial institution, I'm going to wear a suit and tie. I don't always wear a suit and tie to the ribbon cutting, but definitely for a financial institution, because once I showed up with just a coat on, and I didn't have a tie, and I felt out of place. And I don't think that other people were talking to me because they're like, he's not appropriate.
He's here for the food.
He's here for the food. Yeah. As I was telling you, I'm a self-improvement junkie. I've listened to a lot of different speakers speeches and information on Think and Grow Rich, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and something called Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And it talks about mirroring people and your body language and how you have this, what I would call a wireless connection to other people when you sit like them, talk like them. And I know this works because when my daughter was about 6 or 7 years old, she was giving me the I want what I want. And part of what they tell you to do is to mirror somebody. And it doesn't always mean if somebody's crossed their arms that they're blocking you or that they have something against you. But it's very uncomfortable if when you see somebody crossing their arms. So what'd I do? She was standing there and I crossed my arms and I just was talking to her. She said, "Stop that!" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Uncross your arms." So I thought, I've got something I can use on my clients. I was working on a very large project that was probably going to be about $1 million. And I had met with this client, and we knew some of the same people, and I met with them every week, and we talked about this large satellite project. And as we got closer and closer, I realized that this deal was going to be for $1 million. And I kept meeting with him, This purchase order was coming in, we were building great rapport. And I got a phone call from the manufacturer because we were a distributor. We had to buy a product from someone else and sell it to this particular company. And their national sales manager called me on the phone and he said, "I hear you're working on this deal for $1 million. He said, "I'd like to come and see you." They were out of California, so I thought, this guy's going to show up and tell me how wonderful I am, take me to dinner, all the good stuff. He came to our office and he wanted to meet with me, our president, and our CEO. We had a very large conference room that would sit probably 20 people. I was sitting here, our CEO was here, the president was there, and he was over there. He was sitting in his chair, his arms crossed, and his legs crossed, with his head tilted. And he said, "You know, I hear about your deal for $1 million. He said, "We're not going to sell it to you." I said, "Well, why not?" He said, "Well, our largest customer is Harris Corporation, and Harris really wants this order." I said, "Well, I want it too." I said, "We have a longer relationship with them, and corporate's pushing on me, and I don't think this deal's going to happen." I had just listened to something about neuro-linguistic programming. I mean, it was probably a couple days after I had the deal with my daughter. So as I was sitting on this end of the conference table, I thought, what do I have to lose? This guy's telling me I'm going to lose the deal. So I crossed my arms, and I crossed my legs, and he uncrosses his arms. And I was just following him. I mean, he was going like this, I'm going. And then I got up and I sat about 3 chairs away from him. And this negotiation went on for about 3 hours, right through lunch. We didn't even talk about lunch. He went from, "You're not going to get this deal," to, "Well, wait a minute, tell me a little bit about this deal a little bit more," to, "When do you think you're going to get an order?" to, "Do you think we ought to take him golfing?" It was